Good morning. Thank you for joining us on the news. I am Iri Ayomi Kunle Iki, and this is where we give you all the business news stories making the rounds. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery has increased the country's petrol and diesel, adding fresh strain on consumers and businesses as global energy market react to rising tensions in the Middle East. The adjustment reflects the ripple effect on geopolitical development on crude oil pricing. A senior official at the refinery confirmed that the new pricing was driven by prevailing international crude benchmarks and evolving market conditions. According to the official, external factors have been tied to global supply disruptions, and this continues to shape the local pricing outcomes. Under the revised structure, petrol rose by 75 naira per litre to 1,275 naira, marking an increase of about 5.02%. And this is a sharper rise of 200 naira per litre to 1,950 naira. The new rate represents a notable jump from last month's levels and signal the diesel prices could soon approach the 2,000 naira mark. Analysts say the increase will likely intensify inflationary pressures and raise operating costs across multiple sectors of the economy. The president of Dangote Industries Limited, Aliko Dangote, has praised the Nigerian National Petroleum Limited for boosting the crude oil deliveries to the refinery, noting that 10 cargoes were supplied in March to support the domestic fuel production. It disclosed that 6 cargoes were delivered in Naira, while 4 were supplied in dollars, describing the move as a positive step toward improving the local fuel availability. Remarks were made during a visit by the United Nations Deputy Secretary General of the company's industrial complex, Lekki. Despite the increase, Dangote said supply levels remain below the 19 cargoes required for optimal operations, forcing the refinery to import crude from the United States and other African producers to bridge the gap. He also raised concerns about international oil companies prioritizing sales to foreign traders instead of local refiners. The situation, he said, increases cost. However, Dangote added that the refinery has exported about 17 cargoes of petrol to African market and reaffirmed its capacity to supply fuel across the continent. Nigeria's publicly listed fuel marketing companies recorded a steep decline in profitability in 2025, with earnings falling by 60 and 70% as the downstream sector undergoes major structural changes. This was revealed in the Nigerian Energy Downstream and Industrial Report, which highlighted the growing financial strain on operators despite the transition to local refining and full deregulation of the market. The report attributed the downturn of intense price competition, reducing margins, rising logistics and operational expenses, all of which have significantly weakened the financial performance across the sector. It noted that expansion of the domestic refining, particularly the operations of the Dangote refinery, has fundamentally altered supply dynamics, marking a shift away from import dependence, while simultaneously increasing competitive pressure within the market. This minute, Nigeria business environment recorded slower growth in March 2026 as rising costs and weak investment sentiment weighed on performance, according to the latest business confidence monitor by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group and Stanbic IBTC. The report showed that the current business performance index dropped to 100 and 1.2 points, down from 117.2 in February, indicating a significant slowdown in expansion momentum. The sectoral data revealed that the manufacturing, trade and services remained in growth territory but weakened, while the non-manufacturing and agriculture slipped into contraction, and this highlights the challenges in critical segment of the economy. The report also linked the slowdown to persistent structural issues, including limited access to finance, past shortages, insecurity, and rising operating costs. Despite this, businesses remain cautiously optimistic, with expectations for short-term improvement still holding above 100 points. The World Bank has warned that rising global oil prices could add about 3.1 percentage points to Nigeria's headline inflation as higher fuel costs continue to ripple through the economy. In its latest Nigerian development update, the bank highlighted the pricing distortions in the downstream sector, noting a gap between locally refined fuel and import party prices. According to the report, imported petrol is roughly 12% cheaper than locally refined supply, with domestic prices reflecting the impact of global crude price. The bank further added that the higher fuel costs would likely push up transport and food prices, and this will further intensify the inflationary pressures. It's noted that the energy-related component accounts for a significant share of the consumer price index, making the economy highly sensitive to oil price shocks. The cross-border onion trade between Nigeria and Ghana has resumed after weeks of disruption that affected supply chains and led to significant losses for traders across West Africa. The development was confirmed by the Regional Observatory of Onion in West and Central Africa, which announced that restrictions on movement along the trade corridor have been lifted following successful negotiations. Authorities said all previously stranded trucks have been released, allowing normal business activities to resume immediately and easing pressure on regional market. The earlier disruption had caused major financial losses and supply shortages, with traders estimating billions of naira in daily losses. And now stakeholders say the resolution will help stabilize prices and restore confidence in the regional agricultural trade network. A new development, Nigeria has been listed among countries linked to a new Russia-backed cross-border payment system aimed at expanding financial ties in Africa, reducing reliance on Western financial infrastructure. The initiative, according to reports, is built around a ruble-backed digital currency platform, and it's designed to facilitate trade and payment amid sanctions imposed on Russia over the Ukraine conflict. The Russian officials say the platform has already attracted participation from Nigeria and Zimbabwe, although the independent verification of its operations on the continent remains limited. And experts have raised concerns about the lack of visible activity and transparency, noting that there is little evidence of widespread adoption. Moreover, the development signals the growing effort by Russia to deepen economic engagement with the African market. Moving the news on, the local refiners have urged the federal government to adopt a domestic pricing model for crude oil, arguing the reliance on international benchmarks, which is inflating the production costs and undermining the local refining effort. The Crude Oil Refiners Association of Nigeria said the pricing is based on global benchmarks like Brent, which exposes the domestic operations to external shocks and realities. The group also called for the removal of reduction of certain terminal charges imposed by regulatory agencies, noting that even small cost adjustment could significantly impact the fuel pricing. According to the association, adopting a localized pricing framework would help to lower the fuel cost, improve efficiency, and strengthen the competitiveness of Nigeria's refining sector. The Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board is partnered with the Bank of Industry and Exim Bank to promote funding opportunities and deepen local participation in the oil and gas sector. At a stakeholder event in Warri, the board unveiled a new compliance certificate portal aimed at improving transparency, efficiency, and ease of doing business within the industry. Officials said the certificate is essential for assessing funding and serve as a proof of compliance with statutory obligations, including contributions to the Nigerian Content Development Fund. The initiative is also part of broader effort to strengthen local capacity, with over $400 million already deployed to support indigenous companies through various financing schemes. Now the United States and Iran have agreed to a 2-week ceasefire in the ongoing Middle East conflict, raising hopes for stability global oil market. The agreement included plans of a reopen the Strait of Hormuz as a critical shipping route for global oil supply, following a decision by the U.S. to suspend the planned military strikes. The ceasefire was brokered with support from international partners that comes amid heightened tensions that are threatening to disrupt the global energy flow. Iran confirmed it would allow safe passage through the strait during the ceasefire period, while both sides are expected to begin negotiations. Although officials emphasize that the broader conflict has not yet ended. And that's where we end the news this morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ire Ayomikole. aka follow us on all our social media platforms and subscribe to YouTube channel, all at ConsumerHallaTV. Thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Hey there, do you know in the world today, everyone is a consumer, and as consumers, we all have the right to be heard.
In Nigeria today, as a consumer, you have all right to product information, right to fair pricing, right to return goods, right to product labeling, right to fair dealings, and a lot more.
Well then, have you heard about the new media channel?
ConsumerHallaTV.
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 At ConsumerHallaTV, our goal is to inform and educate consumers in Nigeria with insightful news alongside development within the fast-paced world of consumers through well-researched, specialized, and analytical content.
Our vision at ConsumerHalla TV is create an engaging platform that provides right connections for meaningful brands in Nigeria, thus creating a more caring world for consumers where business thrive.
And guess what? Our ConsumerHalla brand is the first consumer complaint resolution portal in Nigeria, powered by a 72-hour feedback mechanism. We offer consumer advocacy, informative talk shows, branding promotions, advertising, and lots more. Connect with us via our YouTube channel at ConsumerHallaTV. Follow us on our Facebook page, ConsumerHallaTV, our Instagram page, ConsumerHallaTV, and do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscription is free. ConsumerHallaTV. At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard.
At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard.
My name is Tunde Olufowora. And I'm the CEO of Brand Eye Communications. We are we call the publisher or the owner of the new initiative called ConsumerHallaTV. ConsumerHallaTV is actually Nigeria's first consumer-centered, or call it consumer-centric television platform that aims to bring voice to the over 220 million Nigerians. It was a vision that came to my heart about 10 years ago. I remember that I was traveling. I traveled out of the country, on airline, and I had this unpleasant experience. It was a trip to an African country from Nigeria, and I actually went with a local flight from Nigeria. I wouldn't want to mention the name of the airline, and then it was to South Africa, and we landed in South Africa. And let me just paraphrase it. When I was coming back, I had some money, some dollars, and that someone had given to me to hand over to another person in Nigeria. So I wanted to help out. I didn't want to carry the cash on myself. So for whatever reason, I had a small case, and I felt that it was safer for me to put the money in my luggage. So I put it in a safe place in my luggage, got everything intact, and I checked in my luggage. My arrival in Nigeria, I was standing and was waiting by the carousel just so that I could pick up my luggage, and then I was there for 1 hour. and waiting for my luggage. I didn't know that my luggage already arrived, and it was one of the luggage that was moving around on the carousel. So after about 1 hour wait, I looked to my left and my right. Almost everybody had gone. I think there were just about 2 or 3 left. So I beckoned on the woman that was on my side, and I noticed she was really in tears. Madam, what happened? She said, her bag has just been torn and a lot of things stolen. So I said, well, I've also been waiting for my own. She said, you better go and check those, those luggages there. Maybe yours is one of them. And lo and behold, I went around there. Mine was one of them. By the time I got it, everything inside my luggage was gone. All the valuable things there were gone. To cut the long story short, we felt there was need for us to report the case, at least to the airline. It was in the night, about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. We went in to go and see the officer that was in charge. As soon as we got in there, the officer said, "Oh, so sorry, but you will have to go to our head office in somewhere in Victoria Island, to lodge a complaint." Okay. So the next day we went to the Victoria Island and we lodged a complaint, and that was it. And since that day, I'm talking a story of over 10 years ago, I didn't get a call, not even a call from that airline to talk to me about what happened to my luggage. Now, about a month after that trip, I had another opportunity to travel out of the country. This time around it was to US, and it was an official assignment. And I flew on, I will mention the airline this time around. I flew on a BA. I really didn't like BA. I usually go with Virgin Atlantic and things like that. But my protocol officer convinced me and said, "Okay, you will love BA. Why don't you go on BA?" Anyway, so I went on BA to US. And of course, on our return from US to Nigeria, we had to do, of course, there'll be like a connecting flight, from Heathrow. So we got into London Heathrow, and then because it was through Heathrow that we went, and then so they changed since it was BA, they changed the aircraft this time around to a bigger one. I mean, clearly because there were more Nigerians, or more people that were planning to come to Nigeria, and then we boarded. Not quite 10 minutes into the flight, in the air, the aircraft started malfunctioning. The air conditioning compartment were not functioning very well. I was on what you call business economy. The whole of that business economy, all the way to economy side, the ACs were not working well. It was hot. And then I was watching. And then from that moment till we got to Nigeria. From that moment till we got to, I'm just trying to paraphrase. From that moment till we got to Nigeria, I could remember very well how many times the pilot, broke into conversation and had to apologize and say, "We're really very sorry about this." He was giving us almost every 30 minutes. There's always a kind of update. "So sorry, this is what we're doing now, this is what we're doing." While we were on that journey, I also remember an incident. So they came, the crew apparently couldn't resolve they couldn't manage the crisis or what was going on about it. They couldn't fix it. So they come up and said, "We're so sorry, but for all the inconvenience, we're declaring, free lunch, free whatever it is you want, you can get." So trust Nigerians, you need to hear how everybody was jubilating, But something struck me. The experience I had just about a month before, and this experience, somehow I started comparing them. I was trying to see how this matter will be managed. Again, to cut the story short, we landed in Nigeria on a BA. Before we landed, the pilot announced and said that for the inconvenient, they will be giving a voucher of £50 to everyone that flew on that aircraft. I thought it was a joke. I mean, it was my first time with BA, but for what I knew or know of the British man would never even play with his 1 penny, talking of £1. So I felt that must be a joke of the year. So we left. I got back to my office. I think it was just about a week after. My officer, our guys in our mail room came up and said, "Oh, you have a parcel." So I said, "Parcel? Yeah." So they bought this parcel, wrapped. I opened it, and boom, I bought the document out. It was the £50 voucher from BA. So what's the tenor of this story? An experience with one airline was terrible. No apology. An experience with another one, even though it was a bad experience, but it was very well managed. So managed that even if we have suffered anything in that aircraft, you probably, for the sake of how they manage it, will have forgiven them. So that was how this journey started. So I started thinking in my mind, this is what we go through in this country. But are we different from other nations? So got in my heart the idea of ConsumerHalla. That's why the Halla came with consumer. And we started that journey about 10 years ago. We started by creating a platform called ConsumerHalla, where consumers, so I discovered that Nigerian consumers don't have a voice. So things happen, and that's it. We live with everything. So we've started the journey from creating the platform. We have an app, we even have a magazine, and we thought we could move it from that to the next stage, which is the television. So the TV today, has come. So I would say precept by precept, line upon line, we have been able to build on our aspiration, to finally bring to birth this unique and exciting platform, So it's a digital telecast, and our goal is to further connect consumers in Nigeria to brands with insightful news, development within the fast-paced world of consumers. The world of consumers is growing at a very fast pace, So we want to inform Nigerians. We want to get them educated about their rights, So our role is that we're going to educate consumers in Nigeria, all right? So by bringing them specialized and what you call analytical, research-based content generation that will inform, educate, sensitize the audience, So that's ConsumerHallaTV. So I call it an offshoot of our ConsumerHalla brand. ConsumerHalla brand actually was the first we call it the first complaint or consumer complaint resolution portal. When we started it about 10 years ago, or about 7 years ago, it became the first complaint resolution portal. We created it so that Nigerians can actually lodge complaint on that portal. We spent a lot of resources to build a very robust platform where today, if you have any complaint, about any brand, any leading brands in Nigeria, and you go on that platform, you can actually click, just a click, you can find the brand, you can actually lodge your complaint, and once you submit it, that complaint will be routed to that organization, and within 72 hours, we will obtain feedback for you. We build it in such a way that we have connection to almost all the organizations, and it's been working. We've resolved several complaints for people without having to charge them any penny, because the idea is not to charge. So what we have done with ConsumerHallaTV is to take it to the next level. So we hope to change the narrative. We want to, give, the right direction. Nigeria has the largest consumer market in the world, with a population of over 220 million people. Why should we be the one that is suffering the most? Everywhere you turn to, it's as though Nigerian consumers don't have a voice. You're traveling, you buy a ticket. For whatever reason, an airline will wake up middle of the night, delay the flight for whatever reason, and then you'll be waiting at the airport for hours. You'll be there for 2 hours, 3 hours, no any explanation. Then while you're there, they can even wake up and say, oh, flight has been cancelled. So everybody carry their luggage and go home. Nothing happened. Of course, things are changing. We must commend government because government is beginning to wake up, but there's still a lot to be done. And we believe that we can help to make, bring about those right changes. So we offer deliberately, part of what we do is that we also offer advocacy, all right? We're not just an advocacy organization, but we offer advocacy. We have a legal team, we have lawyers that are registered on our platform, all right, that can also take up cases, okay? So, and we've taken up many cases like that, and won those cases. So ConsumerHalla is a platform to help consumers to, we're not fighting brands, but rather we say we're bringing about an amicable, resolution of conflict, such that it will be beneficial to the consumers and also be beneficial.
Consumers, welcome back to another episode of Market Today on ConsumerHallaTV. Today we are still looking at inflation and how increasing food prices has affected the cost of food items. And that is why we are here today at Daleko Market to check out the current prices of foodstuff and to know if the increase in food prices has affected the cost of these food items. We are also here to check out if consumers still buy in bulk or they buy in lesser quantities. My name is Nwoke Peace and this is me on Market Today for ConsumerHallaTV. Come with me, guys. Let's go check out what food items say in Daleko Market for today. Hello, good morning, ma.
Good morning.
How are you today, ma?
Fine.
All right, ma. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Mrs. Bemisola Olatunji.
Okay.
The Aloja of Otitoleke Daleko Market.
Okay, the Aloja of Otitoleke Daleko Market. All right, ma. What do you sell in Daleko Market?
I'm selling rice, oil, beans, gari, flour.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about the different types of rice, the category, and the flour. So let's talk about the types that you have in the shop.
We're selling rice. We have it in various types. We're selling Nigerian rice and foreign rice.
Okay, so the Nigerian rice and the foreign rice, you also have it in different sizes. Okay, so how much do you sell based on the size and based on the type?
We have Nigerian rice. The price of Nigerian rice as from today. I don't talk of tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm saying today.
Yes.
Nigerian rice today is 51,000.
51,000 naira.
Yes.
Okay, what about the foreign rice?
Foreign rice we have in different types. We have small agric and big aroso. Small agric of foreign rice is 53,000. Why big one Aroso is going to 56,000.
56,000 naira. Okay, so I see that there are smaller packages here. So how much do you sell the smaller packages?
That's the 25 kg.
Okay.
25 kg. We are selling 25 kg at the rate of 27,000.
27,000 naira.
Yes.
Okay. What about this small one, this sachet one?
This one is basmati rice.
Okay.
That is it's a big rice.
Yes.
For big people.
Okay. Okay, big rice for big people. How much does it go for the big people?
Okay. For the basmati rice,
Yes.
the one of 10 kg. We are selling 10 kg at 30,000.
So let's talk about, the oil that you have here, the vegetable oil. How do you sell them?
We have Kings, we have Terra, we have it in different types. So the case is going to 56,000.
56,000 naira.
And Terra is 57,000.
57,000 naira.
About 25 kg.
About 25 kg. All right, so let's talk about, how many years have you been selling in this market?
I've been in this market now. Let's say for something years.
Wow.
I've been selling this market.
Been selling in this market. So let's compare that time you started to this present moment. What will you say about the price margin? Will you say it is stable, or it's not? The price of before is better than what we have now?
That time,
Yes.
the price of that time is better than this time.
Wow.
Because that time we are selling rice of let's say 2,000. 1.5. Yes.
Wow.
For a bag.
For a bag. Wow.
So talk lots of 50-something thousand.
50,000. That's a wide margin.
Yes. And that time market is moving very well.
Very, very well.
Not like today.
So what you're saying now is demand has decreased. The customers are not really buying in bulk again.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so let's talk about the fuel increase. Do you know about the fuel increase?
Yes, I know.
Okay, so would you say that the fuel increase has affected how you sell your market?
Let me say no. The fuel increase does not affect our market. It's because the price we are selling before the price goes up.
Yeah.
It's not the one we are selling now.
Okay, so that was last. How much were you selling before the price went up?
Before the fuel went up,
Yes.
the rice gone up by that time. But now, when there is no sales, the price has gone down.
Has gone down. Okay, so that before, how many months are we looking at? That before that you said the price went up. How many months are we looking at?
Let's say from December.
Okay, that December period, the price went up.
Yes.
How much did you sell it that time?
60-something, 70-something, but now 50-something.
50-something. So this 50-something, was it the same amount you sold it in last month? That was March.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your time, ma.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you today?
Thank God, glory be to God.
All right, sir. So can you tell me your name?
My name is Ashade Olayemi. I'm Babalaje of this Daliko market, Otitolike.
Okay, sir. So you're the I have with me the Babaloja of Daliko market. Babalaje
Yes.
of Daliko market. All right, sir. So what do you sell in this market?
I do sell rice, sell pretty lady, local rice, and we sell foreign rice also as well.
All right. So let's talk about how much you sell them. How much do you sell this rice that you have? The pretty lady, the different types of rice, the foreign rice that you have. How much? What are their prices?
Likewise, my Yaloja, I've said it to you. The local rice is 51,000 as at now.
Okay.
While the foreign rice is 53,000 naira as at today.
As at today.
Yeah.
All right, sir. So would you say that the recent increase in fuel prices has affected how you sell? The prices of what you sell.
You mean about the fuel?
Yes, like we you say that the transportation cost also affected the profit, how you sell the rice, your stock.
No, really. The fuel, you know, we are into business.
Yes.
We are into buying and selling.
Yeah.
You know, when it come about fuel issue, you know, normally when fuel rise up, the business will go down. But for we, not the fuel.
So what you're saying now is the fuel has not affected, the increase in fuel prices has not affected the prices of the food items.
No, because when the fuel, we buy the fuel lesser price then. We sell cheaper then. And we sell higher. Then before the increment of the fuel, we even sell higher price. But now when the fuel come up, we sell lower price. So definitely the fuel is not the issue of the rice business for now.
Okay. So why do you sell lower? Is it because the demand is not? The demand has decreased. People are not really buying in bulk anymore.
We are in Nigeria. Yeah. Everybody knows that. We are in Nigeria. Everywhere was so tight, and people are just managing themselves. I'm thinking that is what make the business down now.
Yeah.
But because the business is not flowing now. Let's be sincere to ourselves.
Yeah.
It might be maybe it's because of the fuel or whatever, or I don't know. But the business is down now. Normally it used to happen like that. As time goes on, everything will change. Will come up again.
All right, so let's talk about
God for life.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Let's talk about last month. The same price that you are selling now, is that what you sold for last month? 51,000 naira. Is that what you sold for last month? That was March, February.
That is what I told you now. Even the last month, we sell rice 54,000. We sell 56,000.
Wow.
But now we are selling 53,000 naira now, 51,000 naira now. So the price is very okay now.
Okay, all right. One last question for you, sir. How long have you been in this market? That you've been selling in this market?
Wow. I'm Omoja. I'm Omoja. I was born and brought up in this market.
Wow.
Because my mom and my grandmom trade in this market. So I was born and brought up in this market.
Okay, so judging by your experience in this market and how you know everything about this business.
Yeah.
When you started compared to now, would you say the prices are stable, or the prices that it was sold for during that time is better than what the food items, what rice sells for currently at the moment?
The price is very okay now. Because of the situation of the country now. Everybody is lamenting, no money, no business, no that. But as for me, rice business is very okay now.
It's very okay.
The price is very okay now.
Okay.
It's very acceptable now.
It's acceptable now.
Yeah. So that local market now, we have a quality rice and we have a good rice. One of the special rice. When you come to that local, you see it.
Okay.
So, and there's no any wuru any mago in that local. Okay. We do our things straightforward in that local. So may God be with all of us.
Amen. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Good morning, ma.
Good morning, sis.
How are you today?
I'm fine.
And how is the market?
Oh, thank God.
All right, ma. So, can you tell me your name?
My name is Abidemi Mokwe. Yes.
Mrs. Abidemi. Okay, so what do you sell in Daleko market?
I sell oil and I also sell rice.
You sell rice and you sell oil. What type of oil do you sell? Vegetable?
I sell vegetable oil, soya oil, anything oil.
Okay.
Foreign, anything oil I sell.
That's what you sell?
Yes.
Okay, the rice, what type of rice do you sell?
I normally sell foreign and Nigerian rice.
And Nigerian rice.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about the prices. How much do you sell the vegetable oil, the soya oil, in whatever category that you have here? How much do you sell them?
In 25 liters of Kings. As at last 2 weeks, we still sell it like around 65,000 naira. But now we have to sell 68,000 naira because there is increase. Also Terra did not add money for now.
Okay.
Another product we have Wigo is still the same price. Also Togas is still the same price. But Kings, it has already increased.
So do you have an idea why there's an increase in particular to King's oil?
Kings, because Kings is recognized and it's kind of people demand for Kings a lot because they have no king, they trust Kings. So what they say to us, like our distributor said, that is because of the transport, because of the fuel increase, everything that costs it. But we are still waiting for, because some people refuse to sell their own oil. We are still waiting for their own increase because we are expecting it by yesterday, April 1st. So when I'm calling that they should bring oil, say no, they want to increase. So for now, we don't know what is going on.
Okay, so what you're trying to say is when you get new stock, when new stock arrives, it is possible that the price of this King's oil goes way higher than this.
Now the 25 liters already increased, but the other SKU like 25 liters, the 10 liters is still the same thing. Just the 25 liters alone.
So why the 25 liters in particular?
I just can't see. I can't see. Because
All right, let's move to the rice. You say you have different types of rice, the foreign rice and the local rice. So how much do you sell?
the local rice is start from 49, 50.
Okay.
Yes, in different types. While the foreign now is 53,000 naira.
Okay. Yes. So would you say that the price has not increased at all in the past 2 weeks?
No.
It's still the same price.
The same price.
Okay. So based on the types of rice you have, the foreign quality and the local quality, which one does your customer buy more? Which one do they prefer more? Which brand?
The brand is, I can say, my choice. My choice is, we call it special rice because I say is the normally say is the oga of the audio rice. Okay. Because yes, it's very it's not normally sticky. It's very fine. When it's sweet.
It's sweet.
Yes, and we have other ones also. So that's we call it middle rice. That is it's not short, it's not long. Okay. Yes, it's kind of middle. It's like I normally call it aburo, my choice. Okay. Yes, because it's also draw like the same thing, like want to similar to my choice. Yes.
Okay, so how much does the my choice go for, the my choice rice?
The my choice rice is 67,000 naira. 67. Yes. Why the other one I'm talking about is we have KT Gold. We have a lot of ones like that. We have African Gold. That one is start at 64, 63. Yeah. Yes. All
right. So I see there are some unbranded oil here. So how do you sell them? And because it's is there a specific place you buy from this particular unbranded oil?
Yes, there is difference between this unbranded one and the one that is branded. Why is that? I can say, like 2 years ago, I know one of most of my customers. Yeah. I don't normally sell this unbranded one because the way Nigeria started turning, so they start demanding for it. Then I started selling. So that oil is kind of different. We call it measurement oil. Okay. Yes, but because of the one in the branded one is kind of expensive. If you should pour it inside the bottle, they will not want to buy because the price is different from this one.
Okay. So how much is this one?
There is the Eva is 3,400. Okay. While the small Eva is 1,700.
So this one is 3,400. Then the smaller one is 1,000.
1,700.
1,700. Yes. Okay. How long have you been selling in this market?
I'm into my 3 years now.
2-3 years. So comparing when you started to this present moment, would you say that the prices has, you've recorded a high price change in your stock? Like, will you say that the prices are stable right now, or they are better than the prices? The price right now is better than the one of before.
The price of before is better than. Why I say that? I can say it's times 2. Some is times 3 of what you are buying before. This particular oil, when I started, is 12,500. That is Terra. People know it's Terra 700 ml. It's 12,000. Now it's 30 something. Yes, it's 30 something thousand now. So the margin is too much. Yes.
All right, ma'am. One last question for you. Due to the hike in fuel prices, are your customers still buying in bulk, or they are buying lesser quantity now?
Customers are not buying that in bulk, unless the OCS people that are buying in bulk. The people that are buying in bulk before, if they should come, they can just buy 3 cartons, 2 cartons. Some even buy half cartons. So it's not like before they will just come, they will demand. Me I normally say is that is when something is cheaper and we want to use it SS. So that time you see people that is doing stew, you will see oil on their stew head. Now they will be helping you and be scraping. So that is what is going on. That is what is going on for now.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, ma'am.
You are welcome.
Hello, good morning, ma.
Yeah, good morning.
I'm fine, thank you. How are you today?
I'm good. Are you?
I'm good too, thank you. All right, ma. So, can you tell me your name?
My name is Ms. Oluwakemi Adekombi.
Okay, Mrs. Oluwakemi. What do you sell in Daliko Market?
I'm selling rice.
Rice.
Different kind of rice.
Different kind of rice. In wholesale price?
Yes.
All right.
Retail.
Wholesale and retail. All right, ma. So, let's talk about the types of rice you have here. You said you have foreign rice and the local rice. Can you mention some of the brands you have with you?
I have Proud in Nigeria.
Okay.
And I have Gomez. I have Jara. I have TikTok. And I have
Ketigo. Okay. Ketigo.
Brought that.
All right, so now we know the different types.
My choice.
My choice.
My choice.
My choice. All right, now we know the different types of rice you sell. Let's talk about the prices. How do you sell them?
The foreign rice, while the Indian rice, we're selling India is 53,000 naira in the Daliko Market. And while local rice 48, 50 depends. So, and actually the one I have is 48,000, and that's the rate. Why KT is medium? Why that one too is Indian rice, but is Indian medium rice. We call it medium rice. Now we're saying that one have 62,000. So why Thailand? We have Thailand too. Thailand is 55,000 naira in Daliko Market.
Yes. So what about the local rice?
Well, that's Proud Nigeria. We have that one is
48,000 naira. Okay. So how much were you selling this? How much was the prices of the rice that you have in the shop right now? How much did you sell them in the past 2 weeks? How much was it last week? How much was it upper week?
It's same price.
Same price.
Yes.
So what you're trying to say now is, the recent increase in fuel prices did not affect the prices of
no, actually,
food items.
No.
It did not affect.
No, it's supposed to affect, but due to there's no sales, we don't have choice. So it actually affect, but because no sales, so it's our profits that reduce. Okay. That's why we think
that's why.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, we're supposed to increase, but there's no sales.
But there's no sales.
There's no sales. So our this thing now reduce the profit that we're supposed to make now reduce.
Yeah. Okay. So when did you start selling in Daliko Market?
Over 16 years.
Over 16 years. So if you compare that time to this present moment, will you say that the price has become more stable, or that time the prices then
That
were
time is
than
better than now. Very, very better. Far
better?
Yes.
So walk me through, how much did you
When I
did you sell
started,
for an
when I started that time, I started with 5,000. 5,000 naira.
So
Yes.
a bag of rice was
It's 5,000.
5,000 naira.
Yes.
So compared to 60 something thousand, 40 something thousand.
Yeah, the price has come down.
Yeah.
Because last year, year before last year, they were selling 100,000 plus 100,000 naira. While last year, maybe one dinner, sell 2,000 bags a day. But now to sell 10 bags, like today, we've not even sell one bag.
Wow.
No sale.
No sales
At all.
at all. Thank you so much for your time. Right, so can you tell me your name?
Odija.
Sell in Daliko Market.
I sell favorite foods, any store, anything you want to buy, like food, based on food, yes, foodstuffs.
Okay, so tell me, mention the food stuff that you have in your shop right now.
We have rice, gari beans, local rice, carrot oil, palm oil, anything.
Anything. The only thing that's left is
anything based on foodstuffs.
anything based on food stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing you don't have right now is tomato and pepper.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about the prices. You said you have, local rice. In bags, yeah.
Okay, for the gari we have two types. For the jebu we sell paint in one. Why we sell bag 24,000. For the rice we have a plate of rice that costs 5,000 and 4,800. We have the long grain. The bag is 57,000. While the short grain is 55,000. And for the local rice, we have the one that contains 12 pints, which is 180,000. And we have the one that contains 10 pints, which is
How much is honey beans?
a pint of honey beans is 5,000 naira.
5,000 naira.
Yeah, and a bag is 5,000 naira.
Okay, because I wanted to.
100 naira. A pint of gari is 300. We wouldn't say let's pay 250.
Let's pay 250.
Like, oh my god, I can't wait for things to go back to normal.
Okay, I can't wait for things to go